Hi everyone, it's Ray Audrey from Endo the Girl. I guess it's been a little over 2 years since my last post, maybe a little more than that. A lot has happened. It didn't go quite the way I hoped. It turned out that the really bad leg and back pain I was experiencing was not caused by endometriosis at all. I had a herniated disc that wasn't caught. Usually they heal on their own, mine didn't. So I kind of ended up going about a 9-month period where I wasn't able to walk. I was in excruciating pain that whole time. Finally, a doctor took my case and got an MRI. I had to have back surgery, but my muscles had atrophied in my leg, and so it's just been a really long process. I mean, to try and make a really long story really short, after my surgery, I had a staph infection, so I was hospitalized for a while. It was a scary time, and it's taken me these 2 years kind of to recover from both surgeries. So my back is pretty much good now. My spinal, they had to do a natural fusion, so it took about 2 years for the back to stop hurting after surgery. My leg, I'm getting stronger. I can walk, and I can walk pretty far as long as there's no incline. My legs are still recovering. My leg still spasms out, but I guess the good news is it wasn't caused by endometriosis. But that made me realize how important it is for you guys out there not to think that every time you have pain or a new symptom that it's caused by your endometriosis, because I certainly did, and I know sciatica is a pretty common symptom. And no one else, all my other doctors that I was going to see, no one else thought that this was something else. So again, you have to be your own advocate. You have to ask those questions. You have to push, because something was very wrong and no one caught it. And I pretty much went 9 months without being able to walk normally or do what I needed to do. So keep that in mind. Try to look out for yourself, and don't think, I know there's so much pain we're dealing with already, what's one more, but it could be something else, and it's important to get that checked out. So yeah, that's big point for the day. Another thing I'd like to talk about today is, I know after my surgery I was going to post my results from my post-op appointment. I was really upset. I couldn't talk about it without crying, and so I didn't make a video at that time. I really thought that after the surgery things would be really different. I kind of have my life back. It was going to solve a lot of things, and unfortunately it just didn't really happen for me, because during that surgery they found out I have adenomyosis, and it turns out that that is a lot of what's causing problems for me. So I started bleeding rather heavily. I was in the ER constantly for blood loss. And they would just send me home. There wasn't really anything that they could do. Finally, when I talked to my specialist again, they got me on a different birth control. Apparently, if your uterine lining becomes too thick or too thin, it will shed and bleed and just keep going. And by the time I got that semi under control with continuous birth control, I had lost so much blood. And while the main doctors were saying, no, your red blood cells count is great, I went to a naturopath, and she did my iron and ferritin levels, different blood panel together, and your ferritin levels should be somewhere around 75. Mine was at 11. So she put me on supplements. I take a lot of different supplements now. I'll go into that in a little bit later. But a lot of the main one was adrenaline support and and iron supplements. And so I also take blackstrap molasses in like a hot beverage, and that helps absorb iron into your body in a different way. But it's really important to know about where your levels are at, especially dealing with the amount of stress that we're under with these conditions, with the bleeding. It's really important to know that you're getting what you need in your body, because I've been taking these supplements for over a year and I'm still, I think my levels are at like 45. It's a long way back. It's a really, really long way back. And it was at the point where I was useless. I couldn't take care of myself. I had so little energy. And even now, I still struggle. So it's really important to not just get one opinion. I say use any and all options available to you. Get whatever tests you need to do. I don't use holistic medicine independently. I think it's definitely something you use in addition to your regular doctor and your specialist. You need kind of a team to manage all of this, because there's a lot going on in our bodies, and it's a bit much, and I don't think that there's any one person that can handle all of it, and the side effects go beyond just the symptoms of endometriosis. It causes other issues in your body, like anemia, adrenal fatigue. In my case, my brain fog is actually one of my worst symptoms, and just the chronic fatigue overall is brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Actually, I still, all this time out, I'm not in school. I can't hold down a job. I can't work. On a good day, I shower, get dressed, walk the dog. I try to get as much exercise as I can, but there's quite a lot of time where I'm kind of useless. So get the help you need, and it can take time. You have to be patient with yourself, be kind. Healing is a very long process. It's very frustrating. I remember what my life was like before all this. There was so many things I loved to do. And it's not like I don't love doing those things anymore. I just don't have the energy. It's kind of hard. So, hang in there, really, and don't be afraid of looking for alternative medicine. Don't be afraid to be kind. Be your own friend and support in this, because no one's going to understand what you're going through better than yourself. Sorry, it's hard to keep my brain organized, but so 2 years, it didn't go quite as planned. So now what I'm dealing with is my husband and I, I'm married now, but my husband and I are wanting to start a family, and I know that there's a lot of issues that can come from endometriosis and adenomyosis with conceiving, so I thought I might do a video about that a little later. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but at the same time, the only cure for me, the only way I'm going to get my life somewhat back to normal is to have a hysterectomy. This is a cure for adenomyosis. If you just have endometriosis, I've heard it can help in some cases, but it is not a cure for endometriosis. A lot of doctors will tell you to get a hysterectomy. Do a lot of research there. Do not feel pressured into that. It's okay to hold on to what you've got. Another issue that has come to my attention recently is that some people who are ready or have chosen to get hysterectomies with adenomyosis, their doctors don't want to do it, or they say that they're too young, or they should just wait for menopause. And at that point, I really have to say, you need to find another opinion. You need to find someone else, because menopause, that could be years and years away, and no one should be forced to deal with that kind of pain. I do have to say my PSN was successful, so that's where they severed the nerve that connected my uterus to my spine. I have much, much, much lower levels of pain. I will say it's not like it all goes away, so what I can explain to you is that when my uterus gets heavy or swollen, or I'm having a bad flare-up, the ligaments that support the uterus get strained, and I feel a really dull ache that goes down the front of my thighs. I still get lightning crotch. Isn't that fun? I still have some pelvic floor discomfort. I can definitely feel when stuff's going on, but I am no longer permanently in bed with a heating pad. I can get up, I can walk, I can, get a couple things done around the house, and I wasn't able to do that pre-surgery. So I have to say, in that way, it was highly successful, and my quality of life has really improved. And I'm really, really glad this worked for me. I know that PSN does not work for everyone, but I was really, really lucky. And I have some semblance of a life now. I really hope that it's beneficial to some other people out there, but it is a really good thing to look into if you think that adenomyosis might be causing some of your pain. If your cramps are just that bad that it completely debilitates your life, it's a thing to look into. If you're not ready for a hysterectomy, like I wasn't ready to give up on the idea of having children, and so I do have some relief in my life, and I'm really grateful to my specialist for doing that. I'm gonna cut this video short. I just wanted to let you guys know I'm still alive, and kind of how things go. If you have any questions about the surgeries I went through, post-op, any tips for recovering, please just post in the comments below. I might do a video on that later. I might do a video regarding my own experience with possibly trying to conceive and have a family. Anyway, I'm here for you, whatever you need. Hang in there, guys. We'll be okay.